Yeah, but DVDs, the compression rates on them are still better than Netflix's compression because they do not care at all, and they're 4K, in quotes 4K. Like, yeah, that's the pixel ratio, but like the actual fidelity of it, which is more important, is actually lower than most DVDs.
That's insane.
Oh yeah.
So that's just another reason for physical media is it's like so much better. I mean, a Blu-ray, because Netflix has announced that their compression for 4K was going to be like 2 megabytes per second or
I think
something.
it's 4.
And okay, 4. Well, a standard DVD is around like 8,
Yes.
and Blu-rays are a really good one sits around like 30.
Yeah, and every normal streaming service runs 8 to 10. Netflix is a holdout.
Yeah.
Well, not even a holdout. They used to do a higher amount. They dropped everything for some
Yeah,
reason.
no. Well, because they have an endless backlog that they need to put on their fucking servers, and they're not efficient enough, I guess, because they're when you release 5 new things every fucking day, you're probably gumming up the works in some fashion, and then you just move the failures onto the customers. At the same time as they keep upping the quote unquote resolution, they also keep, kneecapping, physical media. Studios just keep doing both. And it's like, what's your end game? Because then it's just going to hit a point where things will be released on quote unquote 8K, but then it'll only be available on like Netflix quality streaming at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, you will live in a world of unbelievably high amounts of pixels compressed to a 1 megabit per minute, and like I don't know, for some reason people seem to be good with that, but it's really jarring because like it's not like you can kind of tell the difference even with a low compression amount. Not Netflix's, but if you're on like HBO or something that's like
Oh yeah, HBO Max.
human.
I like honestly, that can just like slip by and I don't even notice. They actually hit like 10 megabytes,
Yeah, something that
megabits, whatever.
is acceptable. Yeah, but like when it gets put on Netflix, like you're not getting the experience. But people like both really want 4K content, but also don't seem to mind that it won't look how it's supposed to at all.
Well, yeah, I was like, because I use my family's Netflix as everyone does, and they don't pay for the 4K version, and I was considering being like, okay, I'll like PayPal you the extra $4 a month. I got this big TV. I want to take advantage of it, and then I like looked into it, and I was like, oh no, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, like I mean, it's convenient. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't do it. And HBO Max has been a staple of my day-to-day life since it released because they actually have like a library, a good quality level.
HBO Max is
Yeah, they have a deal with the like Criterion collection, so they have a bunch of stuff on the TCM like category. A bunch of that stuff is Criterion. There's like all of the Kurosawa movies and stuff.
Miyazaki,
And
Ghibli stuff.
yeah, all the Ghibli stuff. It's pretty impressive, their library, and that's like the important thing. And it's not too hard to navigate because Amazon has a bunch of stuff, but like
you can't find
can't
it.
find it.
It's buried deep. Like I don't know what it is about their app specifically, but you will not be recommended things that you want to watch. You have to like specifically type in the title of what you're trying to find if it's like even like the least bit obscure.
Oh yeah, and the movie will like sometimes appear twice, and one of them will be listed as on Prime, and the other won't, and just all sorts of just weird stuff.
It's the wild, wild west.
And it'll have like randomly some movies will just be like VHS quality masters that were just thrown up. It's like, oh, because Evan and I watched Maximum Overdrive, and it was the Studio Canal transfer, which is like, they did a new one, so I wasn't too concerned when it started, but it was the fucking DVD remaster from like I assume the 2000s.
Yeah.
When it's on Blu-ray, a bunch of stuff like that'll happen. I mean, yeah, I watched a movie on Amazon and the subtitles were for a different movie. I was watching one of the Underworld movies with my friend, and we were watching all of those. And just another note is to watch those, I had to get a fucking add-on to Amazon for AMC Plus. Oh my God. And all of the ones that were uploaded there were the TV cuts of the movies, not the actual fucking movies, but like truncated and cropped to 16:9. And then on top of it, one of them had the wrong subtitle file attached to it. It's fucking embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. Dude, like, seeing a movie that's supposed to be in a really wide aspect ratio stretched out to 16:9 just destroys the framing a lot of the time. Yeah, good point.
I'm not watching Star Wars, the Star Wars marathon happening on TNT right now because I'm not watching Star Wars with ads and I'm not watching it cropped to 16:9. No. Psychos.
I can't believe they still do that.
Yeah, it's insane. And think of just all the money that it takes to stream. I mean, it's just television again. Which is what they all the streaming service people like promised. Oh, this is an alternative to television, but now it's become just TV.
Oh yeah, and the frustrating thing is you have services like Verve or VRV or whatever you want to call it, where it was a collection of streaming services, but then half of them decided that they didn't want to be a part of this thing and wanted to make their own money, and they all left. So now it's just like a weird collection of stuff where it used to be like, oh, there's Shudder here and both of the major anime apps and all that stuff. But, you know, like, if that wasn't enough for them, so they've all splintered off. And it's like, you can't even get them in collections anymore. Like, it's just becoming so difficult to get them.
But this is the first one that starts to underline the other point, is that bankrupt for ideas that streaming is, even more than the theatrical movies that have been coming out for the past like 5 years.
That's shocking, because like, theatrical movies have been nothing but reboots and remakes. But yeah, at least there's some original movies. There's some.
Yeah, well, when you release a movie into theaters, there are some stakes. You have to have some like level of faith that it's gonna do well, but what streaming allows studios to do is just to make garbage,
right?
And just hinge it all on the fact that someone will click on this because they recognize the property.
Yeah, no, because it removes any kind of like boundary, and like people are more like likely to see something and just kind of casually click on it if there's some familiar aspect. So, like, originality means nothing in an era where you have to look at a thumbnail while Netflix screams audio at you.
Oh my God, I hate that so much. I just want to maybe read the synopsis and look at the thumbnail. Like, stop playing the movie or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's not. It'd be one thing if it was even just beyond that. It's like not even just a trailer. It's just a clip from the movie. It's
even
like,
if it was a trailer, it would be like understandable. But it's just a random part, a clip. Yeah, of whatever it is. It's obnoxious.
If it's a TV show, it'll be a clip from like season 5 that like spoils it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they love that. They love to do that. Yeah, I mean the like level of quality difference between YouTube and major studio productions is almost non-existent now.
Oh, dude, that's like the worst thing about modern television.
Yeah,
is
they're not like episodic.
Yes, yeah, because he used to be either every episode is its own story with occasional two-parters, or your thing might have a through line throughout the season, like, oh, we got to handle this overall concept, but each episode would kind of tell its own story on the way to that. But now it's just, oh, we got to solve this single thing. Here's 13 episodes where we accomplish 5% of that goal.
Yeah, It's like, yeah, I'm not trying to, shit on long form TV because there's a lot of good examples of that. But yeah, you're right in saying that it's just those things can, despite everything working toward a goal, like a long form narrative, they can each episode can stand out on its own and tell a story. But yeah, mostly now it's just filler of nothing.
I think that's just part of the malaise of just like there just needs to be so much stuff, so much from every medium, just all the time content as the C word. And it's just constant all the time. And I think part of that is just, we don't want to have to like come up with more stuff. Let's just stretch what we have like infinitely and just make it 10 times more insufferable. And that's why like nothing could just be a documentary. Everything's like a 6-hour mini series.
Right? They're trying to just milk it for like all it's worth.
Yeah, every aspect of it gets its own episode, no matter how minor. Kind of just horrifying that Paramount's even attempting this, especially after they themselves acknowledged it was like a terrible move.
Even though they were at one point probably like it was speculated that they were trying to sell Paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they just cracked under the pressure. It's like
they just buckled down and said, "No, fuck it."
Other competitor has one, so I guess we have to get one.
Yeah, no, exactly. I assume every investor was making phone calls every 5 minutes, going, "Where the fuck is my streaming service?"
You got one of these this HBO Max stuff. You got one of those things?
Yeah, where is it at? I'm not seeing it. And they were just scrambling.